Today we're going to look at STIX and TAXII and how you can use them in the StrikeReady platform. So STIX is a format used to share indicators, and TAXII is a protocol used to share them. And there's lots of different services out there. Some are free, some are paid, some you might have access to through your vertical, through your industry groups. But we're going to look at OTX from Alien Ball today and how you can use that in our platform. So OTX is a crowdsourced platform for sharing threat indicators. And if you were to look at one of the reports, you can see that there's hashes and IPs and domains and URLs and things like that. And we want to take those into our platform and use them with attribution about who reported it. And OTX offers this nice API in a variety of formats to share these indicators, one of which is TAXII. So we're going to take this TAXII information. We're just going to grab the URL. And we're going to come over to StrikeReady and set up a TAXII client to work with their TAXII server so we can go over integrations. And we're going to do this live today. So now I'm going to set up this TAXII client with their information, paste in their URLs here, and then I'm going to grab my key, which I'll reset right after this video. And I'm going to put it in, say cloud. You can choose a few different options about the different priority of the indicators you're ingesting, but we'll just leave everything on the defaults. So now we have set up the TAXII client, and hopefully we'll get a little green dot here. Yep, we got the green. Okay, so it's connected. So then we're going to come over and create a workflow based on that TAXII integration. So we'll create a workflow, and what we're going to do is ingest those indicators and then tell the product how you want to handle them. In this case, we're going to narrow down the set a little bit. You can narrow it down by collection if you want, but we're just going to say I only care about something called hammer toss, which is a tool used by APT29. You can also choose, how many indicators you want to pull in at once. So let's say you want to pull in 100 or 1,000. You could also choose when you want to start, but we'll just leave everything on the defaults for now. And then you can say, oh, I want to do this every let's say every one day. I want to pull in 100. So we'll set up that workflow. And we'll enable artifact reputation lookups. StrikeReady can also act as a TAXII server as well as a TAXII client if you wanted to run your own collections, which you can see here, but I'll just turn that off for now. If you want, you can automatically deploy these indicators across your technology stack, and then you can say, oh, I only want to do it if my integrations say they're malicious or suspicious, but we can leave this off for now. And when you do push out those rules, you can also do automatic retirement. So you can say, hey, push this out, but then after a day, delete it from my tools. More useful than that is pushing out the automated retro lookups. So you could say, for those indicators I extract, go back and look across the last week across my tools, or any tool that supports it to see if I had any hits for that indicator, even if I didn't get an alert. And then if I did get a hit, let's just assign this case to a user. So I'll assign it to myself. I'm going to call it APT29, severity low, priority high. And we can configure all these later. Alex's hunt, hammer toss, APT29, Russia, test description. And we can see where all these tags flow through later. So now I've created this workflow. So it's going to hit that TAXII feed. It's going to apply those changes that I just made, and it's going to do all this live. So I've just done all this as this video is going. So it's pulling the feed right now. So it's been going for 4 seconds. It's going to do all that enrichment across about 30 different Intel tools. It's going to check and see if I've already deployed these indicators as blocking or alert rules on any tech. And then it's going to do that automated retro lookup across alerts. And also non-alert data if you're looking this up against a SIM or a full packet capture device or something like that. I mentioned that all these are also configurable after the fact. If you want to change how you're handling a particular feed, you can see what your tools are, what your case creations are. You can do the typical notifications. So it took 26 seconds, and now it has pulled out those indicators, pulled out 99 of them. There must have been one that was pre-configured to ignore, and then it's going to do that enrichment and check the deployments and do the retro lookups. So we can come over here to artifacts, and now you can see that we've extracted the domains and IPs and hashes and all those sorts of things, and also done cross correlations against those alerts to see where you have any hits. So I'll just come through here and I'll pick out the different artifacts that I might care about. In this case, I just want to look at objects. I'm going to quickly scan some of these things, and this one obviously sticks out. This has a variety of tags from different vendors about what the tool is. And you can see that I have a number of alerts on my in my console already for this hit. So I could just pull this up. And we could come over to alerts, and this will start to pre-populate with all those different tools about file names and hashes and URLs and things like that, maybe where it's been seen. Here you go. So we have, this has been called lots of different DLLs. Part of the Dukes, this is a V29. More information about the URL. Here's some mitigation rules, by Florian or by US CERT. So we'll come over to alerts, and you can see that I have a number of alerts, one of which was from Sentinel-1, and other ones were from Sentinel. So if I were to look at that alert from Sentinel-1, you can see that Sentinel-1 saw this today. Obviously I ran this test as a part of this video, and it's blocked it. And it says it didn't kill the process because I just downloaded it, and it killed it on the download. So you can come over and you can see that the information is extracted from the Sentinel-1 report. And interestingly, Sentinel-1 reports the SHA-1, although in the actual report itself it was reporting the SHA-256. We were able to do a little bit of nice cross-correlation there. So let's say at this point, this is escalated to a case, and in the case I want to look and see any related alerts to that. In this case, the alerts are going to be related, likely just based on things that happened at the same time. So this will populate here in a second. So these are all the alerts that happened. There was 23 of them. I downloaded just a large batch of malware. So all these get associated in the cases. And if you were to look at the case itself, now I could say, okay, I saw 23 alerts from that same case. Here's the timeline that automatically gets created. Here's all the tags that are coming from all my different vendors. And again, all this happened just live. So now I'm going to say, okay, this user is pretty clearly compromised. So I want to go and maybe I want to force them to reset their password or push out some of these blocking rules. But in this case, I just want to quarantine this host. So I'll say, come down here to host containment, and I'll pick my zone. And in this case, I have two options for containment because I have Defender on the product, but on the endpoint, but I also have Sentinel-1. So I'll let Sentinel-1 do the work since they were the ones who got that detection. So in Sentinel-1, it'll ask me for just a little bit of information that'll get pre-populated down here. In this case, it's the local IP of the machine. And then I'm going to come and hit proceed, and then my machine will be quarantined, and my job is done for the day.